Hey, business building warrior. Welcome to Silent Sales Machine Radio, the podcast. As you know, if you've been around a while, we're the podcast that features hundreds of interviews with successful e-commerce warriors like you who've built great businesses. We love sharing their stories so you can be encouraged, equipped, and well prepared for whatever e-commerce is going to throw at you next based on the experiences of others. We love doing that. But from time to time, if you've been around a while, you also know we love bringing great partners on the show, people that we've been impressed with. They've made an impression on us. They're serving some of your other fellow listeners with excellence, and they've earned their way into the spotlight to get a few more of you maybe paying attention to their services. And if you read in the description today, and we've got a guy who's going to help us out with accounting and bookkeeping for e-commerce. And I think you're going to really enjoy what we have today. We're going to give you some good tips and strategies, as well as a great connection. If you don't have a phenomenal accountant, bookkeeper, and a handful of other services these guys provide, you're going to want to set up an appointment and have a conversation with them. We've been very impressed so far with how they've handled the clients we've sent them, and we're excited to expand our relationship. I'm talking about, of course, Mr. Matt Nelson. He's with Master Plan Bookkeeping. Matt, how are you, buddy?
Hey, I'm doing great. Thanks for having me on, Jim.
Absolutely, man. Excited to dive into this. Excited to have a great answer to the question, who should be helping me with my bookkeeping and accounting? We've got a lot of really good people in this community who have needs in that arena. So talk me through, maybe we start here, just a little personal, who you are, and then let's get into Master Plan Bookkeeping a little bit and some of the services you provide, give some good tips and strategies. Ball's in your court, man.
All right, sounds good. Yeah, my name is Matt Nelson. Started in the tax industry probably about 20 years ago. I'm a little bit older now, so I'm not getting, hey, you're the young guy doing all this stuff anymore. So I've got a little bit of experience down in my belt, but I've got a family of 4 kids, so raising them up in kind of entrepreneurship and letting them know that hey, there's kind of like you're doing with your listeners, that you got to kind of take the bull by the horns, and you're going to have to kind of make some things happen and not just count on a job necessarily to pay the bills. So really trying to teach them from within our own business and kind of live what I preach, that small business is key to people's success. So been doing this business about 20 years now. So started within tax and then kind of branched off into other avenues within accounting, bookkeeping, payroll, some other kind of CFO type consulting services, entity setup. And so, yeah, excited to provide the listeners an array of different services that we can help champion them and grow their businesses.
Fantastic. Well, you and I have only recently met. You've been working with several on our team for a good while now. It always seems to be a friend of a friend recommending someone coming in, but we're an e-commerce community. I mean, I would say 98% of the people listening to this have a business or want a business online. And here we are coming up on tax season, right? Rapidly approaching if people are listening to this episode right when it comes out. Some people are maybe getting a little nervous. So talk us through a little bit as e-commerce business builders, as Amazon sellers. What should we be doing? What should we be thinking right now? What stage of the game are we in? And how can someone work with you as part of that as well?
Yeah, you're right. It is tax season, and a lot of people around this time are starting to worry or have some questions. And so, yeah, I think the first thing is, I think, yeah, having a conversation. I think the big thing is planning. We're going to be with a lot of people that have not planned, and it might be too late for some things to happen that have already happened in 2025 or the prior year. So the big thing is just starting the conversation specifically around with Amazon sellers or online sellers. There's a lot of discrepancies, or there's a lot of things that can get miscategorized, especially if you're doing those things yourself and you're not really realizing, what's a fee from Amazon, which is a marketing expense, or what are the different reimbursements, and things like that. So really, I think having a plan to what your accounting is going to be, not just coming into March wondering, okay, how did I do last year? And then trying to put it all together. So I think the big thing is having a plan, no matter who you're using or no matter what your size is, right? You want to be able to plan and forecast for the upcoming year and even the month. I mean, that way you can really plan, make educated decisions on whether it's time to grow, expand, scale back, pivot, and all these different categories. So I think the big thing is plan, and then making sure that you know which different types of expenses things might be, rather than everything, for example, going in income, where a reimbursement might not go into income. So you don't want to pay extra tax in those things. And that's where we can help as well. and even just provide a little bit of training. We're happy to help questions, answer questions, and things like that. The big thing, planning, and then start that planning early.
Yeah. And I would say reach out. I've probably been negligent in telling people exactly how they can reach out to you. It's in the show notes as well, so listeners know that. But silentjim.com/accounting will take you right to a form to set up an appointment and have a conversation with Matt or someone on his team at Master Plan Bookkeeping. What's the meaning behind the name? I'm just curious.
Yeah, I mean, it kind of comes from we want to have a comprehensive approach to what we do. So we want to kind of have a master plan, not just say I'm just planning for today or just planning for tomorrow. We also want to have a kingdom perspective. So we think there's things that are bigger than just your business. There's purpose behind that. So there's a whole kingdom mindset behind that. And so yeah, having a holistic approach is kind of our goal, and then our approach to how we do things. I mean, if we help with bookkeeping, but then you fail in other areas, it's still not, that's not the end goal. We want to have you kind of have a comprehensive flourishing in all that you're doing.
Yeah, and I love that you've introduced other services beyond just bookkeeping, accounting. It all kind of flows. I know that all the good accountants that I've ever met, they turn into more than just accountants for a lot of their clients. They almost become a counselor, an advisor, an investment instinct, a sounding board, because the numbers. Something I love about business, Matt, is the numbers really do tell the story. You don't even have to meet. You don't have to see the business plan or meet the people behind it. You just kind of look at the numbers, and there's a story there, and having someone that can read that story and then give you advice when you need it and help you plan, which is a big word for you. I mean, you've mentioned it several times, and I love that because it's not just about getting your taxes filed. It's about having a comprehensive plan. Where are we going? What kind of numbers are going to support the journey? What do we need here? And people just pay way more in taxes than they have to. And that breaks my heart. I want to see every last possible, even slightly controversial deduction that I can get my hands on, man. That's the way I am about my taxes. And so having someone who knows what they're doing there, making sure you get all your deductions is a big deal too. But yeah,
Yeah.
it's just cool getting to know you a little bit along with the listeners today. I'm super excited that we've got someone now that we can say, hey, yeah, they've got the capacity and the bandwidth to handle what we're going to send them, and give them a call now. I mean, as we're recording this, we're in, basically early March of 2026. Tax season's here. So get a hold of you guys now if you don't have good plans, I guess is what I would say. silentjim.com/accounting is
Yeah.
the site to get a hold of Matt and his team. So what do you want to add? Go wherever you'd like to go with this, Matt. We've got the attention of some really good business building entrepreneurs right now.
Yeah. I think and one thing that you mentioned was just having, if you do have multiple people helping you in different areas that are all siloed, it does make it difficult to have that comprehensive approach. So if your tax person is different from a strategy person, and that person is different from someone that makes kind of CFO, type decisions, and that person's separate from someone that does the bookkeeping, and it's hard to get them to get them to talk with one another. That's really why we put this all together. Was we were finding that we were trying to track down these multiple different people, when it's like, well, if it's all in house, we can have that team approach, but then you do have somebody that's more into those disciplines. So I think that's a great point that you mentioned. Not only does it take time and extra energy and money and possible missteps there, but I think having everything within one umbrella really does help make a big difference.
Oh, yeah, it makes so much sense. Yeah, to build that relationship. And I've said in the past, it's probably been a few years since I said it, but I made the observation, and many others have agreed with me that the right accountant slash tax advisor slash money advisor more than pays for themselves, more than pays, multiple times more than what you're paying them. They're going to save you and earn you just for having connected with them. And that's true for any small business owner, bar none. Now, if you just got a bookkeeper who just pushes the buttons and gets the taxes filed, and you only talk to him once a year, that's not who I'm talking about. I'm talking about someone who can really dive into the numbers, help you understand your situation, steer you away from bad decisions. And that's where I really like this comprehensive under one umbrella type of. Yeah, I was so excited when the team told me they'd found you guys and that you had a great reputation and that you'd taken care of a good handful of our clients already. I'm like, man, I cannot wait to introduce someone like that to our community, because that's what people really need. So yeah, we're on the same page there. And talking about the whole kingdom principles, man, this podcast is unapologetically biblically based when it comes to money, finances, management, and business. You don't have to be a Christian to enjoy the content and benefit from it. These are thousands of year old principles, but unapologetically kingdom minded, meaning we're building something bigger than ourselves around here. So to partner up with someone else who has that mindset means a lot to us as well.
Praise
But yeah,
God, yeah, that's
ball's
great.
back in your court, Matt. What else is on your mind?
Yeah, I was going to mention too, just like you mentioned, you hate hearing or and people saving or paying too much in tax, for example, or kind of making bad financial decisions there. And just think of what would happen in the opposite direction. I mean, let's say you made a good financial move and you saved $1,000, $5,000, 10,000. I mean, and then you were able to reinvest that or to make another side business, or grow your retail presence, grow your Amazon exposure, marketing. I mean, just think of the opposite. Once you do start compounding these good financial decisions, it just exponentially grows your business. So that's why I think having a partner is really important. That yes, there's a cost to it, but again, like you mentioned, the goal is to our benefits are going to hopefully all outweigh those costs and really push you and propel you forward. So, for example, like if we help you grow, you're a bigger business to us, which means you're growing and you're referring and you're excited. And so, all of those things, we understand that we're a business as well. We have to stay in business just from the referrals that we get. So, if we're not doing a good job, that's going to tank us and sink us. So, we know that we have to win that business consistently and ongoing, get referrals, and provide good value. Otherwise, I mean, we don't deserve to be your accountant.
Yeah, I love that you've been doing it for 20 years too. That's one of one of the pieces of advice. The longer I'm in this industry, I find myself giving this advice more and more. But I've been doing e-commerce coaching, training, and selling online for 23 plus years myself. So the advice I give is you need to know how long they've been doing it before you listen to them.
That's true.
I don't want to go to a dentist who graduated 6 months ago, top of his class. I don't care. I want to go to the guy that's been doing it 35 years. Yeah, he'll probably retire here in 4 or 5 years, but that's the guy I want, right?
Yeah.
He's seen it all. He's heard it all. He knows what's legit and what isn't. He's been to all the conferences. He knows who the con artists are. He knows who the good guys are. Like those are the kind of guys, not only as like a dentist or another kind of service provider, but their network. Their network is just invaluable. I'll tell you this story, Matt. Maybe you've heard it, maybe you haven't. I love sharing it from time to time. That GE, when they were in trouble as a company in I think it was the late 80s, maybe mid 80s, they went out in search of a new CEO because they were tanking fast as a company, huge company. At the time, I think maybe one of the biggest, if not the biggest in the United States, tanking hard. So who'd they go find? This guy who was been around forever and Jack Welch. They went and hired him. And the arguments were like, oh, it's just an old dude. He has a phone on his desk and he has, his Rolodex. He doesn't even use a computer. Like, how's he going to turn around GE?
Yeah.
Well, those connections and contacts that he had was the magic. They needed a lawyer to negotiate some deal between Spain and whatever, like he had a guy like, yeah, this guy's been doing it for 30 years. I could just call him right now. And he turned that company around because of the connections and network he had and the number of years he'd had at the helm of that kind of big budgets and decision making. So whenever you get the chance to go, you got dentist A, dentist B, 6 months since they got out of college, 30 years practicing. Go with the guy that's been doing it. He's got a few decades under his belt. I love that about you as well. This makes me very excited to start referring people your way. So the link again, silentjim.com/accounting. Go check out Nat and his team at Master Plan Bookkeeping. Yeah. What else, man? We're just kind of playing ping pong here. What comes to mind as I'm talking, and anything else you'd like to leave folks with before we start to land this one?
Yeah, I was going to also mention, I mean, we're not going to put you in harm's way, right? I think that's another one to know that. I mean, of course, we're going to be aggressive, and we want to make sure that you're getting all that you deserve, but we're also not going to put you in harm's way to where you're going to we're not going to do anything unethical or blatantly fraudulent or anything like that. We're not in that type of business where we're putting you in that kind of a situation. So again, we've been around a little bit. We've done this a little while, so we kind of know kind of where we can play in some of these different things. We want to be reasonable. We want to be ethical in all that we're doing. So just want to make sure that we kind of make that really clear too. That if you're in a situation where you're making great money and you choose not to do kind of a strategy based on whatever that situation might be, maybe you're actually looking to get loans, and it may actually that income needs actually should be shown higher. Like, we're going to give you different advice on those different things because there are different approaches to things based on your situation. So the least amount of tax is always kind of one strategy that people want to hit on, but just want to make sure that we're clear on that. We're not going to be doing anything crazy to where it's unheard of, or it's
Sure.
unethical in those ways. So we know we want to keep your business around for a long time. So just want to make sure that we're on the same page on that one, that we know we got to grow these businesses. We got to get your community. We got to grow, make those wise decisions, and then do it in a way that obviously is ethical as well.
Above board. Yeah, fair enough. And if the IRS is listening, that's of course all that we ever want to do is
Yeah, that's right.
love you, IRS.
That's right.
No, and so speaking of IRS, I'm assuming you guys are a US only. I should have maybe mentioned that earlier. Or do you do other international work?
We do. Yeah, we're U.S. based. Again, we've got some referrals if we kind of need to go outside of that scope that we can put you with. But yeah, we're mostly U.S. based.
Okay, because we do have 15-20% of our community is Canada, UK, other international
Sure.
settlers. So you may hear from a few folks like that looking for a good referral, and
Yeah.
you'll pass them along to some good folks. Okay, that's
Yep.
fair
That's
enough.
right.
Sounds good. Sounds good. Well, Matt, it's been good getting to know you a little bit. I think we've given people enough to make a decision if they want to give you a shout, even if nothing else, just to kind of compare
Sure.
what they've been doing and get some fresh ideas from something slightly more comprehensive than just a bookkeeper or an accountant.
Yeah. And we also even do just kind of training only type sessions. So maybe it's just like,
Oh,
hey,
okay.
you know what? I just want to kind of, I don't like to do it myself, but I just don't know, what is a chart of accounts, or, how do I set something up where I'm the first time I'm just starting out. And so it's, hey, you want to get an hour or two just to kind of let us train you and walk you through it. Again, our goal would be, hey, we want to get you so successful that you have to outsource all of those things.
Mhm.
And so, yeah, we're happy to do kind of, any kind of size and any kind of, operation that you might be working with. Again, if you're so don't feel, yeah, try us out and even test us out, ask some questions. We're happy to help, whatever that scale might be.
I love that. Yeah, outstanding. Because we do have a lot of listeners who and people in our community who are on the newer end. They're
Sure.
launching. This is the first time they've ever done something like this. And one of the must-haves I've said for years, you've got to have an accountant that you trust, that you can call, that's available, that you can bounce things off of, not just for taxes, but other decisions. They're going to know people. The network of a good accountant is an incredible thing. They know which businesses are hot. They know the movers and shakers in different industries. It's
Yeah.
just a great person to have on your contacts. So
Yeah.
yeah, very excited. Great feedback, man, today. And I'm excited to be working with you guys.
Yeah, I'm excited, Jim. Thanks for having me again. And yeah, anything we can do to help, yeah, feel free to reach out. Happy to help.
Outstanding. silentjim.com/accounting. Well, we probably could have put plan as a better word, but we didn't.
We know for next time. We know for next time.
silentjim.com/accounting. Yeah, maybe we'll do that one as well. But all right, man. Well, check the show notes out. If you listen to today's episode and you want to get a direct link, you can click and get over there and read more about Matt and his team and what they're up to. But we're excited to bring you episodes, like I mentioned in the intro, not just about success stories and training, but sometimes there's the part of the business, I know, at least for me, that I just don't like getting into, but it's got to be done.
Right.
One of my mentors said one time the secret to success, if you had to narrow it down to just one, is doing the stuff that needs done, even when you don't want to do it. Do it when it needs done, even if you don't want to. Accounting's kind of like that. It's time. Even if you don't want to, it's time. Set up a call with these guys, have a conversation, get the ball rolling. And Matt, thanks for your time, my friend. I'm sure we'll be talking more soon.
All right. Thanks, Jim.
God bless you, man. Bye for
You
now.
too.